All right. He's live, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
So I gotta tweet this out.
Hello, everybody. Cacus and I were supposed to be in Hawaii, and that didn't happen, so that's really fun. We love that. Instead, we're here hanging out.
We said
They couldn't leave you guys.
We said we could be in Hawaii, and then we said, but we'd miss the Real Gamer Hour podcast, so we decided to scrap the whole trip. Now we're here. So if you don't hit that like button, like bro,
You're not a gamer.
Seriously. Bro, seriously.
Yeah, no, fun fact, I got the vid right before we left, so that's always awesome. I'm very, very happy about that. Feeling really good.
Can I tell the story a little bit? It's, if you were writing like a Seinfeld episode, it literally, it would like not go. So for those of you who don't know, I had to renew my passport, and I did so back in November. And the absolute geniuses of the Canadian government, so well run, they were like, okay, you will get it by January 2nd. I was like, okay. I'm traveling the 24th. You have to actually write. When you're filling out the form, it's like, when do you plan on traveling by? So you fill it out so they know. Okay, we gotta
Next
get
time you say a month sooner.
Yeah, exactly. I should have lied. And they said, it didn't show up, and I called to check, and they're like, oh yeah, we just put it in the mail. They put it in the mail January 17th, and I was supposed to go on the 24th. So the margin for error was like nothing. So it was like,
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, it's shipped to Canada Post. There's nothing we can do. You're either gonna get it or you're not. So it was like Wednesday, and it was like, will arrive in 1 to 3 business days. So 1 business day Thursday, we're good. 2 business days Friday. 3 business days would be the Monday. I'm on the plane Monday morning. We're screwed.
Right.
So the entire trip hanged on them getting me this passport. And so I was calling all this stuff. And literally, again, it was like a Seinfeld episode or something. I finally get it, like Friday night. Comes in like 5 p.m. Friday. Like last possible chance. I get it. I send a picture of my passport to like the group chat we're in. I'm like, boys, we got it. We can go.
We're good.
5 minutes later,
I got the Rona.
Tash replies with a positive COVID test. Where I was like, are you kidding me, dude? He's like, you couldn't have written it any better. I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
Feels bad. But hey,
Yeah.
now we get to talk about all the gaming news, and this week is actually kind of spicy.
It
so-
is.
Full of
It's spicy
stuff.
week.
Tons of stuff.
Uh, Let's start with the Battlefield stuff, because that's the topic order that I put it on here.
Yeah.
Battlefield 2042. If you guys don't know, they are creating essentially a Forge mode from Halo called Portal. You can build.
Well, they already have it.
Yeah,
It's starting in the game. Yeah.
and you can alter the map, alter spawns, alter the game, and they're
There's
considering
even like
making
logic
free-play.
editors. Like
Yes.
there's a lot of stuff you can do in it.
Yeah, you can
create
make your own game.
modes, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you said though, they're like, honestly, they're panicking. Battlefield is not doing well right now. Mac McPherson, shout out to him. He's doing well right now. Clearly,
And now we
He's
are
spoiled,
too.
shout out, now we're doing well.
Yeah, for
But-
reference sake, I was telling Cactus, I sat in a queue for 20 minutes. I still love the game. I was trying to play it. I sat in a queue for 20 minutes and eventually
Is that-
turned
you
it
can't
off.
even-
There's like nobody playing it.
The 12 people left playing Battlefield can't even play because the queue times are so long. Like, it's not good. So EA is like, they're under the gun and they're panicking. And so one of their ideas is like, can we do a free-to-play thing? Because certainly, I mean, Battlefield, has its issues, but if it became free-to-play, I mean, there's no question in my mind it'd be worth it for a lot of people. Like, it's still a fun game, and that would certainly boost the player count substantially. So their idea was, like Tash said, make the Portal mode free to play. So you can't play the official like multiplayer, but you can go in and there's all these different like servers in the Portal mode. I've actually seen the stuff that's made me want to go back to Battlefield is the stuff in the Portal. You can do like super realistic, no HUD. The damage has turned out quite a bit, and like the biggest desert maps, everyone's shooting each other.
You can play on some of your favorite
old maps, yeah.
old maps from Bad Company series, from Battlefield 3.
Yeah,
Great
yeah.
stuff in there. They actually in the discussion they were saying we're kind of playing around with both ideas of either doing Portal or Hazard Zone, which is their extraction royale game mode. But they said they were leaning towards Portal. I think that's the obvious play. I mean, because people made better like BR style game modes in Portal anyways than Hazard Zone is. So I think that's the obvious play. So by all accounts, they have a like an earnings report on February 1st. So they'll gather, they'll talk about it, and then they're expected to make a final decision there. But I think it's a no-brainer. It's got to happen at this point.
Honestly, if I was in charge, I would say make the whole thing free to play.
Sure.
Anyone who buys the game gets $60 or whatever of free in-game currency or whatever to buy on the microtransactions you're going to add. So it's like, hey, if you did buy the game, you're not, it's not that feels bad where now the game's free to play only a few months later. You have, $60 credit or whatever. I think that would go a long way with a lot of people. And then Battlefield 2042 goes completely free to play. I think you'd see a lot of people, trying it out. It is a fun game. It's just like, is it worth $70? That's the issue.
The thing is like we talked about how that price tag limits cheaters or deters cheaters.
You were excited about it, yeah.
But I think the big companies that are producing it go, this is not a financial success. It's not a free-to-play game with a ton of microtransactions. And I think they get their hand forced a little bit here and there. And it's like,
I think
if there's enough players, maybe you don't notice the cheaters because there's so many normal people playing. I don't know. I have no idea.
I think it was still a success. I think they sold a lot of copies.
Yeah,
It's
they did.
it's just the fact that, you know, they're going to come out with this season 1 sometime in March or something like that, which is great, and introduce a bunch of content, which is great. But like, if there's no one around playing the game,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Yeah,
So-
quite honestly, they shot themselves in the foot by. I mean, they could have delayed it. I say this several times. They
When
could
is
have delayed
EA
it.
gonna learn?
They could have delayed it 3 weeks because they lost so many players in the first few weeks due to just stupid bugs, game crashing, crossplay not working, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And all they had to do was delay it 3 weeks because they fixed all that stuff within the first few weeks.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the game wasn't perfect after then. They still, I mean, they even had just a major update just recently. Just I think it's like last week or something. UI, scoreboard, all that stuff. But I mean, it wouldn't have been a huge delay to save some face.
They literally had a new update like once a week for 3 weeks, and
Mhm.
each one was like huge. And so yeah, it's like if you would have delayed it a month and then just done those 3 updates internally, it would have polished the game substantially.
And it's like my question, especially with me, I am pretty petty, and like first impressions matter. And if I'm not having a blast, if it doesn't look good, feel good day one, you lose me because there's just too many games to play. I'm not gonna dick around for too long. And how many other
Competition's
people are
really
like
high,
that,
yeah.
right?
It's so ultra competitive these days. Yeah, it's like, and a lot of people are coming from like, I was playing Warzone. Probably a lot of people are unsatisfied with Warzone, but then it's like, if you're more unsatisfied with Battlefield, then you're just gonna go back to Warzone because it's
That's
free to
right.
play and all that stuff. So
It is a shame. I think the potential for that game is still there. So I hope they can turn it around.
just make it free to play. It's like, why not go balls to the wall? Why not be like, look, it was a mistake. We screwed up this game. Let's just go free to play. The core is fun. Like the actual core of the game is fun. I had a lot of fun in Breakthrough, especially.
Yeah, I love the game.
120 players, you know, going crazy and stuff. But it's like it's not fun if you can't play. If you're in a 20 minute queue every time you want to play, that's not fun.
Right.
And is that literally just lack of players?
Well,
I
it's a
don't know.
combination of things. For me, it is it's the fact that I'm on PS5, and so I can the crossplay options. There's no console to console crossplay. It's either all crossplay is on, so it's you and Xbox and PC, or it's just PS5. Now the reality is that the PC sandboxes bounce differently. So console players are at a massive disadvantage because people on PC, there's the exact same gun is going to have better stability, better hit registration, better everything than it's going to have on console. So if you're
Cry
a
about it.
console
You have
player,
aim assist. Cry about it. Get good.
no, you don't. No,
okay,
you don't. Have you
Oh
played
yeah, it's
Battlefield?
Battlefield. True. Yeah.
This is not Halo or Destiny. So anyways, so most console players turn off crossplay because they don't want to be at a severe disadvantage against PC players.
And
But
then there's
because
like
there's no one in the pool, like
you
know
you
what's
have a
wild?
tiny pool and you slash it in like
That's
a
right.
third.
I'm looking at the Steam charts for it, and like
Oh, boy.
January 1st, so beginning of the month, they were getting like 15, 16, 17,000 or 1,000 players on average. Into mid-January or like January 9th, it was down into the 12,000. The very next week, it didn't get past 7 and 8,000, and now it is at 4,500. And so like we were getting, and like you can just it's like this, and it almost tables down, like it kind of drops, plateaus, drops, and yeah, it's down in the 4,000s now, 3,000s at some of the time, which is pretty wild. Even in a 1 month, like you're losing. It says for the last 30 days, 54% of the player base. December was 60% of the player base was gone. But then you lost another 54% of that player base. So like it's peanuts from where it once was, which is pretty wild.
Yeah,
That's right.
I hope they get it together, and yeah, I think they gotta go for broke. They gotta make a portion or all of it free to play.
Yeah, the Trials of Osiris player population is higher than all of 2042. You
Right?
know? It's
Crazy.
like-
Crazy, dude.
yeah, and you can imagine, like, because of that, you go to the flawless pool and your connections to other players are terrible, and people are lagging. So you can imagine what it does
What
for the
Battlefield
quality of the gameplay when the player base is so tidy on Battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
this whole thing is even worse because Battlefield has its, of course, main competition in Call of Duty. So the next story here, quite a lot of new information and news about Call of Duty. So they've confirmed three more Call of Duty games actually. So they've confirmed, I think, so a new Infinity Ward game this year, 2022, and that's going to be Modern Warfare,
Modern
likely
Warfare,
like 2. But they remade Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, so likely this will be Modern Warfare 2, even though Modern Warfare 2, the greatest Call of Duty of all time, already exists. So the naming is getting a little bit weird, but they rebooted that franchise, so they're gonna another Infinity Ward 1, which is gonna be huge. That was the one that reinvigorated the franchise for
Right.
really like everyone. It was kind of like
Game
it was
so
such
good.
a big step forward. It really heightened the player base.
Why? What was it? Like I'm just trying to think
'cause
back.
it was-
Is it the
it was-
weapons? Was the perks?
No.
What was it?
Well, first of all, it was an absolute like anal attention to detail for like weaponry and gunsmithing. Everything was
and map
perfect.
design. I'm gonna throw that in there too. Map design. Most of the maps were real good in 2.
No, not Modern Warfare 2. I'm not talking about original. Original, yes.
No, that's what I'm talking. Is like
I'm talking.
That's what I thought. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Mike
I was
talking
gonna say
about.
the 2019 Modern Warfare maps were dog water, dude. They were.
No, I thought we were talking about Modern Warfare 2.
30,000
Sorry.
windows.
No,
where everyone was camping
No,
in.
that was terrible. I was talking about like what was the jump between Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 that made it that much better?
Modern Warfare 2 was the first true like modern shooter. Like everything it had. It had so many innovations that they're still doing it. Like, remember, you could unlock calling cards and emblems that you could equip next to your, like, hey, Destiny emblems that are unlockable through in-game challenges. Like, that was such an important thing. You can show off how many nukes you got and stuff like that. The balance was perfect. Every weapon was overpowered. I don't know how they did it, but like literally every single weapon in the game was overpowered. If you're like, oh, the best weapon in the game was the ACR. It's like, okay, what about the UMP?
K14, man.
What about the UMP? What about the dual 87 shotguns? What about the SPAS 12? Like literally? What about the intervention? What about the Baird 50 cal? Every single gun was overpowered. It doesn't make any sense, but they did it, and so everything you used was great. It was just such a fun game, but because this one's called Modern Warfare 2, that's going to be crazy because you are competing with a lot of people what they do think is the pinnacle. And the campaign was absolutely buck wild. But then the next year is a Treyarch game, which is a little interesting because like Treyarch has been like helping like this one currently. The Zombies was made by Treyarch, even though everyone hates the Zombies, like hates it. So Treyarch has kind of been split in all these different directions because they've had to pick up some pieces. So the year after that, I think, is a full Treyarch game, and a lot of people think that they're going to reboot Black Ops because I don't think people are that interested in Black Ops 6 or 5 because technically Black Ops Cold War was not a numbered one. It's hard. It's like hard to
the naming.
track. But then they might just remake Call of Duty Black Ops, like remake the original Black Ops, but the original Black Ops takes place in the Cold War, and they just had Black Ops Cold War, so, bro, I don't know what's going on there. But then the third Call of Duty they confirmed is Warzone 2. And basically huge. Warzone 2 exists. They're making Warzone 2 so they can take away everyone's stuff. Because right now...
it's not last gen either.
Yeah. That's what the speculation is. Or it might have been confirmed. But yeah, like it probably
was confirmed, yeah.
Okay, it was confirmed, yeah. I think the 2 games, they don't know whether it's might be on the PS4, might not be, but Warzone 2, yeah, next gen only. And people are like, "Oh, can I carry over my stuff?" But like literally there's so much crap in Warzone. There's 3 Call of Duty's worth of guns. They're trying to balance all that stuff with all these attachments, and that's why everything breaks every other week.
Yeah.
Warzone 2 is going to be complete fresh start just so they can get rid of all this. Like, there's so many different, like, microtransactionable skins that do stuff. Like, they all have unique inspections. They have, like, little animations. Like, the Treyarch went crazy. There's, like, little dragons that breathe fire with their freaking, like, master gun. It's so wild, dude. That game is, like, 300 gigabytes or whatever it is. Right. It's insane. So they have to, like, basically restart just so they can actually balance the game. They're basically sunset. They're doing what Destiny did. Warzone 2 is like the Destiny sunset. Like, honestly.
Like, are people going to be super salty, or are they just going to be excited for another Warzone?
That's gaming.
Yeah.
You know, that's gaming.
You
gotta
consumed
be
it, you
used to by
used it,
now.
and
It's a good question, right? Like, you are gonna lose all your stuff. Like,
It's also
but
a
I
free to
think-
play game, though. It's
yeah,
free.
but it's free to play. But everyone spent $150 on skins.
Yeah, true.
So
This also like opens a door to like Fortnite too. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like some of these
Yeah.
games that it's just I would never expect them to make Warzone 2, but they're doing it. They're like, yeah, instead of keeping going with this, we're just gonna rehash it. And
I think that's their plan. Is like we make a new Warzone and we shove 3-ish Call of Duty's worth of guns into it. So it's like, because it's very clear what they're doing. They're using Warzone to try to get people to buy the latest Call of Duty. The best guns, the most overpowered guns, are always the ones in the latest Call of Duty.
Right.
Oh, you want the BAR that's cranking people from across the map? Gotta buy Vanguard. What do you know?
Yeah.
So they're gonna do that, and then once the game gets so stuffed, you can't add a whole another Call of Duty's worth of guns in. It's on to the next Warzone. Warzone 2, Warzone 3. I think that's literally their plan.
Right. Yeah,
But,
that's
like,
crazy.
If you have that knowledge, is that going to impact people? Because that is an interesting topic, right? No one really knew that Warzone 2 was coming. Maybe they would just literally sunset older guns, but it would stay Warzone. But now we know for sure. The same kind of thing happened with Destiny, right? Where it's like once you had the knowledge of sunsetting and once you had the knowledge of Destiny 2, it kind of made it hard to grind Destiny 1, like knowing all my stuff is going away. Like there will be a point, like if you're an avid Warzone player, are you really going to be buying those skins now? Because you're
Right.
like, bro, I literally know that there's an end point to my game.
Sure. Well, it depends on. I think people will still do it until they know when there's a release date. You know, because right now it's still just it's a pipe dream. It's something that's going to happen in some undisclosed time in the future. It's not going to stop people from right now investing. You know what I mean?
I think
yeah,
it's
like what
gonna
if it's
come out
another
like-
2 years?
It's probably going to come out in like early 2023.
That would be my guess. It'd be 2023. Yeah.
Because I don't think they can fit Modern Warfare 2's guns into this game, into Warzone. I don't think they can.
Because
Well, I
there's
think they're
just
gonna
like too
restart.
many. There's just too much size.
Every time they introduce like stuff, it breaks half the game, and like all these things happen because there's
Right.
just so much like different guns and stuff in it. And
Yeah,
all
I
those
guess
guns have these.
people were invisible last week, so it's like or 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
You think Destiny players always think they have it bad? It's like Warzone's a game with 6 Telestos.
Yeah, seriously.
literally. No, but it's interesting. Like I'm saying that people, but it could also be like people are hyped for Warzone 2 because they're sick of the current Warzone.
Could
Like they've been being bodied by the same guns for however many years. They're like, I want Warzone 2.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. You know, and it's the same thing with like Destiny. You know, a lot of people say we just need a Destiny 3 at this point. And I'm not on that train, but you absolutely know that if they released Destiny 3, clean slate, you know, everybody who's playing the game today would buy Destiny 3. Like even if they didn't like it, they're like, I'm a Destiny player. Like
That's one of the
Yeah.
only things to get me back.
Everybody loves the idea of this big chunk of content, untouched, untapped, never before experienced. You know what I mean? And that hits different than Witch Queen. You know, even if they're giving people catch-up mechanics that everyone can jump in and it's like a clean slate, everybody knows it's still Destiny 2. And so that's somewhat off-putting for somebody that isn't a Destiny player who may, if the Witch Queen was Destiny 3, they may have jumped in because they know they're coming in fresh with everybody else. You know what I mean?
And you know, with me, it's like if I want a boot upgrade on my Warlock, I need to get a 30 roll in intellect and recovery, and 2 and everything else. It has to be like a 68 stat overall, and it'll never
Dude,
happen. It'll never ever
that's
happen.
why.
You know what I mean?
That's why I started a free-to-play account in Destiny.
Just like
Because I actually care again.
Yeah.
Like I have not done this in forever. I actually log in at night before I go to bed on my free-to-play account, complete bounties, level up my season pass for some of the free loot, and do my like powerful and pinnacle drops that are available to me because I'm actually like, oh dude, that's a 62 stat roll. I mean on my main
Right,
account
it's
I'd
like,
be
oh my
like it
God.
needs to be a 70. It's got to be like through the roof to be better. But now I'm like looking at the numbers, like, yo, this could actually, you know what I mean? Like, I care again, and
True.
that's sort of refreshing.
So Warzone 2 could not
Warzone 2.
necessarily make people annoyed that are losing everything. It could reinvigorate everyone.
That's
'cause they're
exactly
starting from a
right.
fresh slate.
They care
Possibly.
again.
Well,
Yeah.
Possibly-
and maybe there's some massive system changes. Like right now, you get the money, you buy your loadout, and you go. Maybe they don't do that anymore. Maybe everyone spawns their loadout, and it's like you can get healing items. Like maybe they change the flow of the game. Maybe they I don't know what they'll do. Maybe they botch the money system and they say screw it. We'll do supply drops that will come down, and contest them on the map. But everyone gets money, runs the thing, gets their loadout every single game. It's just constant like that. And then they buy the revive on death thing where you can bring yourself back in. Maybe they transition away from that. I don't know if they will. It is
make it
kind
like
of a
pure
pinnacle.
RNG. I think you're
Maybe.
gonna have to have loadouts because why else would people invest so much money into a skin? It's like the skin for their favorite gun
that they can
right?
always get.
And they can always get I
Yeah.
love the Scar. I'm gonna use a Scar every game. I'm so good with the Scar. I'm gonna buy the skin for the Scar. It makes sense. But yeah, it does lead to balance issues for sure.
The only other game though that didn't really do that, but you still had skins that I remember being popular was H1Z1. If you just picked if you picked up any AK, it would have your skin on it or whatever.
Yeah, that's
right.
They don't have that in place, but that could be what happens in the next one.
Or when you
really-
play CS:GO and it's got your skin on the gun or whatever, and you.
What? But something else is important about these three games.
Yes.
About
Yes.
Modern Warfare, speculated as Modern Warfare 2, so next Infinity Ward game, Warzone 2 at some point, and the next Treyarch game is these three Call of Duties. They've said these are the ones that are confirmed to also be coming with PlayStation, and I think they still have the PlayStation deals in place where PlayStation gets exclusive maps and so on. After those three, so after the 2023 COD, we don't know. All bets are off, baby.
Yeah.
So are these three going to be the last ones? I think Xbox did say, hey, we're committed to since Xbox owns them, they're going to miss out on a huge chunk if they don't sell it to PlayStation. But certainly we're going to see exclusives and maybe even exclusives start to go on Xbox. Xbox will obviously be the ones that get the exclusive maps and whatever. Right. So these three are the last three of the traditional what you were used to, and then it's anyone's guess what happens with exclusivity.
Sure.
Isn't it such BS though? It's PlayStation will do everything in their power to not make crossplay and things convenient for people, and they'll make they'll make they'll make the Fortnite shop an issue and this an issue, and Genshin Impact's had issues with them, yada. But then they're like, excuse me, can you please let me keep selling Call of Duty? Please don't take Call of Duty away from me. Come on.
Literally, dude.
Come on, man.
PlayStation's gotta come to play. They do. They gotta show up and they gotta play ball because listen, I'm a PlayStation guy. I am, but they're getting left in the dust. They're making it harder and harder for people who stick to PlayStation to stick to PlayStation.
It is true. Yeah. They are always the most annoying ones about crossplay. And Xbox is we'll do crossplay, and PlayStation's no.
And we've covered it. They make you pay.
Yeah.
If you're the developer of a game, they're the only people in the business who say, if you want this game to be on our platform and crossplay with other games, you gotta pay us. Nobody else in the business does that. They're like, yeah, heck yeah, crossplay with our platform. We want your game on our platform for sure. Yeah. But Sony ain't coming to play.
Well, guess what? Now they don't have a choice. I think Xbox would be like, hey, so you're gonna enable crossplay, right? And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, sure, bud.
Now,
exactly.
Speaking of Blizzard Activision, they are now announcing a new survival game, similar to The Forest or maybe Rust, a game where you are going to have to worry about Valheim, worry about your food, crafting a shelter, all these different things, getting upgrades, and why not a AAA survival game? I feel like there's always a little bit of jank in the
Oh,
survival
they're
genre,
all
right?
100%.
is.
100%. The thing about the survival game genre is that it's almost exclusively indie devs because I don't know what it is about that style of game, but it feels like it doesn't appeal to the masses.
Except for
appeals to
Minecraft.
it. It appeals to it. Yeah, well, they have accessibility is like their main selling point for sure with Minecraft. Because basically they're like it's a survival game and everybody turns survival off and goes into creative. You know what I mean? So, to be fair, but I mean some of the best survival games out there right now. I mean, you mentioned there's the Forest. Microsoft does have a new one. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Grounded. It's basically like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And you're the kids
Yeah.
survival game. It's stuff like this. There's a Swedish indie dev that created what's it called? Generation Zero, I think. I love survival games. Me and my buddies play tons of survival games. We love the crafting, the foraging, all that stuff. The Forest has a sequel coming out, I think, in a couple of months. But here's the thing. It's like there's no big heavy hitters in that genre right now coming to play ball. And that's the thing, like Activision is going to step in, or Blizzard's going to step into this genre. They're probably going to sweep the floor with everybody else, with the competition, because the competition doesn't have the capital. No, I'm serious. Because the genre is pretty cookie cutter at this point. It's pretty cookie cutter. Copying the genre and stepping into that genre for a AAA studio is not going to be a challenge. I'm telling you, man, it's not a challenge. You have guys sitting at home in their PJs who are like, we can make a survival game, and they compete. And sometimes not just compete. You're talking about Valheim popped the frick off.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me a AAA studio coming to play in this genre is a big deal.
I agree with everything you said, but here's the issue with it. We're not going to see this game for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? That's the thing that's holding me back and keeping me from getting like super hyped is like, dude, they announced this because they're like, we need more people to work on it. Can everyone quit because we harassed them all out of our job? and then they're looking for new people, but it's like Blizzard takes so freaking long. Like, where's Overwatch 2? Literally no one has any clue when that game is coming out, dude. Like, no one. It's like, bro, and it's just a sequel. They're just adding a PvE mode to their game, basically, and they're like, yeah, it'll be 10 years. So, coming up with a completely new game, that's the one thing, that's the one holdup, is like, we literally could see this game in, like, I'm not even joking, in the 2030s.
Yeah, let me read off.
Crazy, but honestly.
Let me read off the job listings here, and you tell me how far along in development stages this game is, right? You ready? Senior character concept artist. Senior software engineer. Lead software engineer. This game is a pipe dream at this point. This is not happening anytime soon.
It's like two guys had an idea there. I don't know if they're like
and
they're committing to it.
And then it turns into the Crucible from Amazon Studios, and they're like, yeah, this sucked. Gosh. Like that's the thing, is sometimes they come up with an idea and it just doesn't pan out and they don't make a good game, and it's like, well, there it is. It's done. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would love like a AAA game. Like I'm looking at Terraria and like building my base, and there's like a bunch of bosses and progression. Do that, but like a AAA, because if Blizzard's doing it, there's gonna be a bunch of bosses. There's gonna be bosses, armor, crafting, spells. That's my guess, at least. They're gonna add some fantasy to it. It's gonna be. I don't think they're just gonna make Minecraft. I think they're gonna add some real meat and potato combat. Or else why? Like, what? Because Valheim already kind of has done that, and you've seen the success of that. And I'd say that's not too amazing.
Again, this game could be an absolute banger and completely overhaul the genre in a decade from now. That's is a problem. Like, this Blizzard takes so freaking long to make their games, dude. They delayed Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, and there wasn't even release dates for them. They're delayed games with no release dates.
Undisclosed date, we're delaying it to other undisclosed
dates. But longer. They're basically like, we still don't know, but just like, it's even worse than you thought.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the one hang up I have on that.
Yeah, this week really does almost feel, I mean, it's good news, but it almost feels like Activision used smokescreen. It was super effective. It's almost like we know you've only heard bad things coming.
We're making a new game,
lately, but Yeah, the people who were committed to this survival game were like, "You're gonna announce this? Like this is a pipe dream right now." They're like, "Well, we're gonna tell them something good, okay? And we're gonna
Yeah.
talk to them about your game." They're like, "We don't even know what it is yet. We don't have a title. We don't have any characters drawn up." They're like, "I don't care. We're announcing it."
Mhm.
It just seems like we need some good news out there. I don't know.
Could be.
Could be piggybacking off of the Xbox, Microsoft
Well,
purchase
maybe
of them. I
Microsoft
don't
goes
know.
in and is like, you guys can't take 12 years to make this game. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Who
But
knows?
it is interesting.
But they're not in charge yet, so they don't really have that kind of power. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not for a while.
Moving on to Apex Legends, they are getting an arena shooter type
Dude.
game mode 9v9.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the basic gist of it right now is that it's 9v9. It's control points. So think of like domination on Call of Duty. Think about control and Destiny, right? You got capture points, you got to capture them and control them to earn points. There's infinite respawns. This is brand new for Apex Legends. There's not been a single game mode out there with infinite respawns, right? So 9v9, it's just going to be an arena shooter, essentially. You pick your loadouts, you pick your character, and I don't know. I think this is what people were hoping the arena mode was going to be. Arena mode ended up being an elimination game mode, kind of like if you're a Destiny player, Trials of Osiris. It's basically Trials of Osiris.
It's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah.
My thing though is even with Trials, like I kind of like momentum. I think it's one of the reasons why I don't like BR games and even Trials of Osiris and Destiny. Like I think I don't like it long term because I kill you, I get map control, I get advantage, and then it's like, all right, round reset. And I have and you follow the same route over and over and over, and it's like typically the same engagements. It feels so boring to me. Where if I can keep respawning, or I can stay alive and you're respawning into me, and I
play
can
King of the Hill essentially, yeah.
Right, and I have to defend that hill and or try to cut you off at a choke point before you can get to that hill. Whatever. Yeah. I like the idea of that, and I kind of like I don't like the finality of rounds. I like almost the sustained beating you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel you.
I beat you in a fight, but I'm gonna continue to beat you and keep that momentum going forward, and use that map control and that feeling of like clawing my way forward or clawing my way back into the fight. You know, it's like I know you're in the lead, but if I keep winning these fights and you're dying more than me, eventually I'm gonna win. Instead
it's the same. It's the same reason why the player population in the Glory playlist, the survival playlist in Destiny, is like a whopping 4% of the total PvP population, and it's why the Trials player population is a whopping 8% of the total player population. Is because people really like the feeling of the match. It just keeps going. Okay. And if you can pound your head against the wall and maybe eventually you'll break through and you'll capture that flag, sure. And I think people like that feeling, but your death feels almost more punishing when you don't respawn and you have to wait for a new round. Not almost. It does feel more punishing. And your victories feel too short-lived when you get them. Oh, I got a double kill! Round is over. And now everyone's alive again. You don't feel like you have the opportunity to really capitalize, on your kills. And so I think this is going to be a really good development for the Apex Legends fans, and especially for Titanfall fans too, who really like the movement, the guns that are all carried over from the Titanfall franchise. They're going to have access to that stuff as well. Maybe it'll feel a little bit more like coming home from them for them. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what the maps look like because it's 9v9.
It's going to be pretty big.
They're probably not going to reuse the arena maps, I would imagine. But I don't know. We'll see.
Those would be way too small.
Yeah, I think so too.
9v9, 6v6 on a few of those maps, I think would be okay. Yeah, the only thing is like the movement and the abilities. Like once you start getting some of those in there, like it might get a little congested. You start throwing a bunch of smokes from 6 people on each side, right? Like if you're using like Bangalore and smoking, and then you've got some other.
Well, I wonder if they're going to use. I wonder if they're going to use the same currency system they do in arenas, where if you're going to use her smokes, you got to buy a finite amount of them. I don't know. Or maybe they'll fudge with cooldowns.
Or you spawn in and cooldown, like a cooldown system of. Well, I mean, I guess they already have a cooldown system, but they would just have to make it.
They do, but it's
suitable suitable
VR.
for the map, right?
Yeah. We'll see. Either way, I think this is they committed to it's a limited time mode right now. It's not going to be a permanent thing. So I think they're really going to use it as a bit of a guinea pig just to gauge people's level of interest in it. Obviously, nothing's going to come close to touching the BR experience. BR is like where the money is. That's where the players are. But I would expect, I think, this game mode to get more traction than Arena. Because I think the jump from BR to an elimination style game is too big. But the jump from a BR to a 9v9 infinite respawns mode is actually more it's more feasible for a player because you almost like go to that game mode because you want to get right into the fight and warm up your shot. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to practice with a legend and you don't want to wait 20 minutes to get into a gunfight in a battle royale experience where you don't know how it's going to shake out. And maybe you don't have a team to play with. The 9v9 playlist is going to be perfect for that. You're like, hey, I'm going to try out this new legend. I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to get into a ton of gunfights and use her abilities, use the guns, and see how it feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that might be the appeal of it.
Because even the arena...
I knew TV would rant about how it fanboy over Apex Legends for like exactly 10 minutes, so I just took a little break, got a smoke. I'm just kidding.
I feel
he
like...
did, didn't he? Exactly.
No,
I let Mike talk.
We talked.
No, well, I'm gonna let neither of you talk. No. I know exactly what you guys are talking about because it's such a good idea. It's like you already have such a solid shooter with Apex Legends, really smooth gunplay. Let's just do some arena stuff. Let's do some 99.
I like that they
why
dabble.
Don't other games do this? Yeah,
I know they dabble and they try stuff, and it's like good. Maybe that is the optimal game mode, and it is fun and fast, and like you don't have to worry about getting third partied as much, or because like I know that frustrates me in the BR game.
Yeah,
is like the flow of BR games.
Not everyone likes BR,
but I love the characters. I like outplaying people with my smokes and my speed from Bangalore, like. Or bamboozling someone with Mirage. Like I like that, and being able to use it in like a rapid fire game mode. Because even like, the arena, it is pretty slow. Like sometimes, you wait on opposite sides, you kind of do pot shots, and then the timer goes down and the circle gets smaller, and then you push in. With the arena, it's just gonna be fight, use your abilities, go in and attack, and I think it's gonna be a pretty different experience overall.
Well, we talked about the no build mode in Fortnite. It's like, finally, dude. Like, finally they're experimenting. It's like, you already made the shooter. Like, how hard is it to make a map? And Fortnite also, I remember they did, like, the 50v50 team mode as, like, limited time games. Like, why don't you just make that a permanent thing?
Maybe because they don't want to poach from the main playlists?
But isn't that a concern for Apex too? I think Apex realizes, like, okay, we'll poach some people for sure. But then we're also getting these new players who don't like Battle Royale but want to try these other modes. So we're just adding, like, we're not subtracting, we're getting these new players, right?
Well, part of it is also FOMO works really well on your existing player base. It works really well. Like, if there's a limited time mode in Destiny, as a committed Destiny player, I'm going to take, you better believe, I'm going to take a break from all the other things I do every week in Destiny. My Nightfalls, my Crucible, my Raids. I'm going to take a break from all that because I'm going to check out the new LTM. And I think that if you don't do these limited time modes every now and then, your player base is going to start to get bored and fatigued with the standard rotation of stuff that they do. And so I think that even if you're not getting new players, keeping your current player base, and by the way, their current player base is booming,
huge,
and making them a ton of money. So part of it is like, we don't need new players. We just have to keep the ones we got. And we got to keep them engaged, keep them interested. And so stuff like this is really good for that.
Do you know, is there any rewards associated with the new mode? Did they say like any skins or anything like that? Or is it's just a fun thing?
It's just a fun thing. Sometimes with the LTMs, what they'll do is they'll give you in Apex, they'll give you new like badges to show off or trackers to show off on your player card. Like your arena mode max rank that you've achieved in season, whatever, or how many kills you got in that playlist. So even when you're playing in the BR mode, you could be able to flex. When that LTM was up, that 9v9, I racked those 6,000 kills, baby. You know what I mean? So people, even when you're playing the BR, they're going to be able to see that, when you're the champ squad or when they get killed by you, all that kind of.
Right. Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Why don't we talk about the new Star Wars stuff? You guys can run me through. I'll listen on my headset.
We should have done that at the same time, Tash.
Oh, you guys are
So
crazy.
the new here, you take away the new Star Wars announcement stuff.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So we basically EA Respawn, they announced, look, we got 3 new Star Wars games in the pipe right now. They're gonna be coming out. So it's cool. One of them is, I don't know if did you play Jedi Fallen Order, Cactus?
No, I didn't. But
Okay.
I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, I did a playthrough of it. It was really, really good. It was really, really good. I
heard
thoroughly
nothing but
enjoyed it.
good
But yeah, it was basically unanimously positively accepted in the gaming community and among Star Wars fans. So much so that people are like, yo, when are we going to see these characters on the screen? You know what I mean? Like on Disney Plus kind of stuff. So it was very well received. And so Lucasfilm had such a good relationship with EA, with Respawn, and we're really impressed with the amount of passion that they put into that they were like, yo, we want to have you guys on for not just the next Jedi game, which, by the way, that's one of the 3 is the next Jedi game.
One of the
like,
3 is the next Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Whatever, yeah.
Basically.
And then the next one of the other 2 is they're like, we want you to make an FPS. Like, dude, what if we get like the War on Mandalore, the
Respawn Entertainment.
Night of Tears.
Guys
You know what I mean? Like
Titanfall. They're making
getting
a Star
Star Wars FPS for the people who made Titanfall. Like, I'm in. I don't need to know anything about it.
Like,
that's all I need to know about it, and I'm in.
Is it a completely new game, or would they just like be in charge of like Star Wars Battlefront 3? Do you think, or is that like no DICE? Is making that?
No, I think that would stick with DICE. This is going to be a brand new FPS, I think.
Star Wars Republic Commando 2! Let's go, dude!
Star Wars universe is just so wide open. Like, you could sit here and speculate all day about what narrative they're going to be diving into.
If they made like a proper like Respawn Entertainment, unbelievably solid mechanics, like Clone Wars game, like legit, you're in the ginormous Clone Wars battles and you're just like fighting huge multiplayer and stuff like that. Like, I guess I basically just want a Battlefront 3 but better, but like more about like the Clone Wars, and like they had like COD-esque customization of like your weapons stuff. You can customize your blaster all these different ways and stuff like that. And like customize your armor. Like, how sick would it be to like have like choose where to put your armor and stuff, like extra shoulder pads, or like or lighten your armor so you're faster, better movement speed.
Look, you just got a huge stockpile of Beskar. How you gonna spend it?
Exactly.
You know, like,
we're saying, Tash, like, the thing is, like, so of the 3 Star Wars games, you asked, you're like, why was Modern Warfare 2 like the pinnacle of like Call of Duty? Well, it was the last one made by technically Respawn Entertainment. Remember, the original Infinity Ward, Vince Zampella and Jason West, the 2 main guys who started the entire Call of Duty franchise, they had a falling out with Activision about Modern Warfare 2. Like, Activision was refusing to give them their money, like, because they sold so much, but Activision was like, no, we have this weird clause where somehow you don't get your bonuses and stuff like that for the whole studio. So Activision was being Activision, and they splintered off and left to go make Respawn Entertainment, and then they ended up making Titanfall 2, Apex Legends, like all these amazing games.
Right.
So like Modern Warfare 2 was the last Call of Duty by the original Infinity Ward. And that's why a lot of people, including me, think it's the best. And you have kind of a decline after that because you literally had like the talent leave. I mean, the maps, like how good the maps are in Modern Warfare 2 compared to all the other games, it's not even close. It's literally like night and day because all their main map guys went over. So instead of having the number 1, 2, and 3 map designers, it's like the guy that was 5th in charge of the maps is now the first guy in charge of the maps, and you could tell the quality dropped off dramatically.
Sure.
So my point is to say that Respawn knows what the frick they're doing, and the fact that they're in charge of a Star Wars shooter is absolutely insane.
I'm psyched, man. I really, really am. The third title, by the way, is supposed to be there's not a lot to talk about here, so if you want to get back to whatever you were about to say, I'm sorry to cut you off. The third one is a strategy game. So if you're into strategy games, there's a Star Wars strategy game, and it's being developed by a brand new studio. Like, I mean, they have nothing.
What was the last Star Wars strategy game? It was like called Star Wars Galaxies or something. Where I don't know if you guys. It was like a Age of Empires style strategy game. We had troops, but you had to like. I played it. I can't remember exactly what it was called. I think it was like Star Wars Galaxies, where you'd go in and like you'd have like, I have my 2 AT-ATs and I have a bunch of Republics stormtroopers, and you direct them around the map and you capture different points and stuff. It was sick.
Make a Star Wars RTS. Even though RTS kind of dead, but it's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Star Wars is not dead though. It's such
balloon Star Wars defense.
So
there you go.
If they're making a shooter game, do you think they're gonna have Jedi powers? Do you think it's gonna be an ability shooter, or do you think it's gonna be like?
I don't think so.
No,
I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
But then Apex is an ability shooter.
Well, I mean, to a degree, but I don't think you're going to get Jedi stuff mixed in with that specifically. I think if they're developing the Jedi thing, that's great. But honestly, there's so much in the Star Wars narrative that has absolutely nothing to do with Jedi. Because here's the thing, like even in the shows we watch, when they talk about Jedi, everyone's like, they're made up, right? They're so far removed from even Star Wars reality. Jedi are very, very rare. So I don't think they're going to double down on that. I think this is going to dip into something completely different. That's my prediction.
Some Stormtrooper gameplay, some Mandalore gameplay, something like that.
Well, that's what you're saying. Like, imagine like a proper like Storm or like a Republic Commando. I don't know if you remember that, like Star Wars Republic Commando or whatever, where you're like a clone trooper, yeah, with like actual hardcore customization with armor and weapons and stuff. And you probably have some multiplayer, like some 6v6 and all that stuff.
You can even dive into bounty hunter stuff. Like the bounty hunter vibe is a core theme in the Star Wars universe. And there's so many different ones to choose from.
They have experience with like vehicles, obviously, with like Titanfall. Like, do you think they're gonna have like AT-ATs and AT-ST? Dude, I don't know. Like, it's got to be different than Star Wars Battlefront. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so it can't be these sprawling battles because that's already a thing. So it's got.
Right. I think it's gonna be a smaller scale,
focused.
That's right. I agree.
Yeah.
Who made Battlefield or Battlefront?
Dice.
Correct.
Right.
So. Yeah, which maybe they're like, I don't know, maybe they took it away from Dice. So like, you guys keep screwing this up. like Star Wars Battlefront 2 was not. It was a disaster, and then became better, a lot better by the end. But then they abandoned it, and then Battlefield 2042 was a disaster at launch too. So maybe EA's like, bro, Dice, like, you guys got to get it together here.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. And I mean, Respawn has done so good.
They like just releasing nothing but bangers.
Yeah, even like the Fallen Jedi game or whatever. Like, I thought that that was a pretty awesome game. Like,
Jedi Fallen Order is fantastic.
Fallen Order, yeah.
Yeah, because they had a huge following. Really cool stuff. But did you guys hear about this Twitch stuff where they apparently like made a bot?
Oh, hold on.
Whose only job is just to.
Hold on.
Did you want to say something more about Star Wars?
Yeah, it was called Star Wars Empire at War. Tash, I don't know if you want to Google it. But like, and then you could bring up like a picture of it, because like this was the one and only, as far as I can remember, Star Wars strategy game. Oh, yeah. And yeah, you can see you have like your little like troops that you command. There was space battles too, so you'd have like, you know, highlight a bunch of TIE fighters and get them to like attack certain parts of the enemy ship and all this stuff.
Oh, so this is like an RTS game almost.
It is. It's like an RTS. So like, and I think it like people liked it. And so like that is the only kind of thing we can look towards is like if they're making a Star Wars strategy game, maybe it's a revival of something like this. Which could be interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you talking about for Twitch?
There's this like clip.
Oh,
yeah. Circulated this week from a streamer. She goes by the name Toasty. And this was really interesting. She was telling people, she's like, don't say, quote unquote, I'm 12 in chat. She's like, don't say it because there's a bot, you know, that Twitch has made or outsourced, I don't know. But there's a bot that will automatically ban your account for saying
for being
your
underage.
age if you're underage. Like, you know.
Technically, right, you have to be 13 to agree to the Twitch terms of service.
Mm-hmm.
as we all know, if you're 10, 11, 12, it's pretty easy to click I am 13 or enter your date wherever.
If
Right?
somebody's like, "Yo, what level are you in World of Warcraft?" and you're level 12, be like,
I'm 12,
I'm
bad.
one less than 13.
Yeah, and so it's like everyone was like joking in chat. It was like, "Oh, I'm 12," and then like the person who joked in her chat actually apparently got banned.
Yeah,
like,
and they were
"You're
like,
gone."
they were a sub to her channel and everything.
It's like, are you serious, dude? And so it's like, do you have to appeal and be like, I'm not actually 12, I was joking? It's just like,
They're not gonna look at your appeal.
right? Yeah, exactly.
for
They don't
weeks.
even. They won't even look at like Dr. Disrespect's appeal, let alone you
They're like,
joking
if he
that
dies,
you're 12.
dies.
Yeah, it's like it's such a classic Twitch like ham-fisted approach where it's like,
Yeah.
guys, there's some people who are under 13 on our platform. What do we do? So like, if anyone says I'm 12 in chat,
They're
ban
gone.
them. It's like, what are you thinking? I don't know if this is 100% true. It certainly looked true from the clip, and everyone's saying it's true.
Yeah.
Who knows if it's actually, I don't know, but that, and she obviously said it for a reason too. Like that's something she must have heard too. But
like, is
just-
that Twitch's like moderation systems?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you say something once and they're like, "Ah, you're banned." There's no context. There's no one checks in on it. They're like, "Yeah, just get rid of them." Who
Yeah.
cares if they've been subbed to the channel for 9 months and given the streamer money? Let's just ban
It's
'em.
crazy, man. I always I compare it apples to apples against YouTube. And like when I upload a video, it has to be reviewed to see if there's anything in there that's, like fringing on copyright issues, right? And it'll show you if it was reviewed by an actual person or by a bot. And a lot of times it's reviewed by an actual person. And it's like I don't know, Twitch is just night and day different. They're like, nah, we don't really care.
yeah,
Maybe they don't have the bandwidth. Maybe they're not making as much bank as I thought they were. But I can't understand how somebody like Twitch does not have the capital to invest in proper resources to address these things. I don't know.
Well,
It
they still take 50% of everyone's money too. So
exactly.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
they're hurting for profit.
I still get
It's-
that question all the time. People are like, why didn't you just go back to Twitch after Facebook? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't want to go 6 to 12 months without making a single dollar on the platform. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like with YouTube, I can start monetizing my content, my stream content, and make most of that money today. With Twitch, they're like, you need to prove to us that you deserve to make money on our platform. Until then, we're taking it all. And then once you meet our criteria, we will take an undisclosed amount of time to review your channel and then approve it. Now, I always go back to, I use Geek Chick as an example. She went to Facebook Gaming. She came back to Twitch. She met all the criteria to be a partner. And it took a year for her to get partnered again. Like, can you imagine if that was your sole source of income? That's how you feed your kids? Like, I can't
Well,
afford
and
to roll the
100%
dice
they
like
just-
that.
They just denied her for a year because they were salty about her going to Facebook.
That's right. That's the
So-
only explanation. The
And-
only one that makes sense.
Twitch is such a fickle thing too because like the CPM on ads that do play on your channel are so low, it's non-existent. It is negligible. Like even if you run the ads in the middle of your stream and stuff, I've done that back when Genshin really popped off and I had like crazy viewers. I would do it just to see what happened, and it'd be like $80, and it's like, Jesus, I made the viewing experience so much worse for $80. Fuck that. I'll just
Yeah.
stream
also
and get
the most
subs and like.
You're right, and it's also like the most intrusive ads. It's like 2.5 minutes of The Boys season 2.
Yeah,
And you're
I
like,
know.
bro, it's so intense. It's like they're like, everyone's like crying over 15-second unskippable ads on YouTube. Twitch is like full like 60-second, 120-second ads. Nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah. If I didn't have an editor making like highlights and my clips channel, I would quit streaming. It is not worth the money, and like you rely so much on your audience to pay your bills. And I have 2.5 times the average viewers that I did last year, and I made 1/3 the amount. Now, there was that big Destiny thing with all the gifted subs. Like, I understand that inflated things, but it's like, I have 2.5 times the average viewers. So the months in between, you would think, oh, maybe I'll make like 2.5 times the amount. Nope. Nothing. I had the lowest sub count I've had, like some of the months. I'm getting like 2,500 viewers on Genshin, and I'd have like 500 subs. And it's like, bro, I used to have 500 subs when I had 80 viewers on Destiny.
Doing trial scaries and
trial
Lord of
scares,
Wolves.
like it was crazy because everyone would
Because
sub.
people would sub to get carried,
Right?
bro.
I know. It's a service stream, and like I get that, but that's the crazy thing about Destiny is like people like Grenadier Jake. He does get a lot of viewers, but like sub count to viewers are insane in Destiny
Yeah,
for
his
everyone.
ratio's nuts. Yeah.
There's people that have 80 viewers with 1,500 subs in Destiny, and it's like, what? How?
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you were in any other thing, you'd have 12 subs. You know what I mean? Like you'd just be doing it as a hobby, no payment. But Destiny is just the most generous. It's one of the most generous like games I think overall. Like the audience, I should say.
Yeah, it's very community focused.
Very community focused. You know, doing raids and playing together. But I think that's gonna be
well, it's just but this Twitch thing is just so wild because it's just like now like I'm scared. Like I wouldn't want to like test it out on Twitch. Like even if this isn't true, which again it appeared like it was, and the clip seemed to be pretty red-handed. Even if it's not true, like now everyone's gonna be scared about typing it.
Yeah.
And like
chat, this is your homework. Make an alt account for Twitch.
Twitch go see
Test it out.
I'm 12.
And then report back next week on the episode.
It seems like something Twitch would do. It is so dumb. Like I feel like only the Twitch managers would approve this. That's how I know I think it's real.
The message you get is your account's been banned, and it's like these emojis of a sombrero and some maracas shaking, like sorry.
Yeah,
it's fucking. What's his name from Twitch?
Oh no,
the fucking creepy guy that we all met.
Not Hassan?
Is it Hassan?
Yeah.
You talking about Hassan?
Yeah, Hassan's like comes up. You're banned. You're 12.
You're not
Okay,
old enough.
So many jokes I wanted to make.
I should probably
but
stop making like inside
like,
jokes on our podcast. Everyone else watching is
I
like, what
wanted
the hell
to
is this
make
guy
some
talking
jokes.
about? But yeah, Twitch. It's always like it's what they do. Is like these it's like the DMCA stuff. It's like the solution was delete every VOD you own. It's like holy crap. It's just like
all that content.
They just turn the dial to 100 every time, bro. It's hilarious over there.
Unreal.
All right, well, guys, I think we're at the end of the topic list. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend just a few minutes with Real Gamer Hour After Dark. That's where you guys chat can ask us questions, and we're gonna answer them to the best we can. So go ahead and answer them. But, however, the first thing we gotta do is thank our one and only sponsor, Advanced GG, baby. The best and only clinically proven gaming supplement, energy supplement out there. Fantastic stuff. You can check out advanced.gg.
New flavors out, right?
Tons of, I don't know which flavors I can talk about, but there's a lot of new flavors.
Also, I get the emails and I'm like, I don't know what I can talk about.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of new flavors coming out, and some of the new ones that we can't talk about, like the Splitgate Rocket Pop, is fantastic, and there's one that's like a peach tea that's really peach iced tea that's really good. And if you go there, use code RGH, you get 10% off, and it supports all three of us. So there you go, Fans GG.
Also, big thanks to anybody who took the time to hit the like button on the stream today. That is super helpful for us. Kind of helps us in the algorithm. Helps new viewers find the stream.
Yep. Find three dinguses arguing and yelling at each other.
What's TV drinking tonight? I was drinking a Monte Cassino. So it's a little 4-ounce cocktail, but it's lemon juice, which I squeeze myself. Benedictine, yellow chartreuse, and rye whiskey. Real good.
Lemon juice?
What?
Did I squeeze myself? What are you, stupid? Do you think I didn't squeeze myself? I squeezed
myself. People will read recipes for cocktails and they'll go get those little squeeze bottles from the supermarket. That's what I do. Dude, that stuff is trash.
Why?
It's
so convenient.
Dude, it takes... You literally get a citrus juicer. You have a lemon. You cut it in half. You put half of it. This is done. The other half juicer, done.
Who am I, Jeff Bezos? Are you gonna afford a citrus juicer? I have my little.
You have over 1 million subs on YouTube, Mr.
My
Cactus
channel's dead, right? I pour in my gin, and then I get a thing of tonic out of a can. And I pour it in, and I give a little squirt of lemon or lime, whatever is in the fridge, There's my gin and tonic. That's my drink.
That's trash. No, you gotta put some effort in.
Yeah, exactly. TV's out here like smoking it, like he puts his drink in like the
I
sealed
have
container.
a smoker. Yes.
I know you do.
Yes.
And you smoke it in there so it infuses with the smoke, bro.
Heck yeah.
Have you guys played Rainbow Six Extraction?
I have not. I watched Skill Up's review and it was not good. It was not.
Oh,
was
really?
like,
I like
he just
Skill Up's
crapped
reviews.
on
I
it.
feel like I, for the most part, agree with him like almost every time. So
He has pretty good takes.
yeah, I usually watch.
Yeah,
his-
he just basically called it super low effort. It just like wasn't much going on. They said they announced that they have like 3 million. They had like 3 million players, but it was also launched on Xbox Game Pass. So how many of those players like tried it out was like this is trash and uninstalled it,
Garbage.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's free to try.
Have you played Lemnis Gate on Xbox
I don't know what that
Game
is.
Pass? I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
It looks like No Man's Sky kind of looking gameplay. I'd have to watch I'll watch a trailer of it. I haven't played it. None of us have played it. I'll go watch a trailer after the podcast and see what it's all about. Is it good? I saw you actually asked that a couple times. So
My wife and I were gonna dive into No Man's Sky this. We were thinking, what's something we could play together? And we were thinking about No Man's Sky. It's still $60.
really?
Yeah, because it's basically a new game every 2 months. They add like this huge update.
I guess I just thought it would be. I thought it would be maybe 40 tops.
A little $29.99.
Yeah, well, I have a copy for PS4 that I got on when it released, and I think you can just upgrade to the PS5 version for free. But I wanted to play it on PC with my wife on PC. And I was
Question:
like, "Dang, wait, $120 we're supposed to play together."
Is Lemnis game the one where it's like you're fighting the other people, and then like each round, your previous self is in the round, and you can interact with your old self? Is that the one? Like, so if you threw a grenade at the beginning of a round, you'd be able to like shoot it out of the air so it doesn't land there and stuff like that. Is that the one? Because I saw a game like that and it looked like absolutely mind blowing strategy. Like
I'm
it's
literally
like
too dumb
too
for
much.
that. I would like.
Oh,
not be
I
able to handle
know.
that.
Truly. It's like a strategy turn-based FPS game. Oh, interesting. Actually, I played this game recently. I got a random email and it was like, "Hey, do you want to download this game for free called Jupiter Hell?" Oh, I'm addicted. It's like kind of like almost like a top-down. You're like a little Doom guy, almost like Doom, and there's zombies coming at you and different like Marines that have been converted, and it's like a kind of like a turn-based shooter where you have to use cover and like get through the levels, and it's I don't know. I've been playing it a little bit, and I'm addicted. So
Interesting.
I'm down to check out Lemnis Gate. Might be a little bit more intense.
I keep trying to think of like new games I want to play for a bit, like just in this little bit of downtime before the Witch Queen. I can't come up with any. I'm just like sit there bored, and then I just watch Attack on Titan.
Yeah, you already played.
I
the
finally got
Outriders DLC, didn't you?
I finally got Crunchyroll because I was like, bro, I like the first season of like a few things. I'm not a huge anime guy, but I was like, there's a few things I like, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can afford $8 a month or whatever it is. So I was like, fine, and now I love it. I'm just watching a bunch of stuff.
Did you try Black Clover?
Me?
Black Clover's real good. Yeah.
No, there's like all this. There's like, dude, there's so much stuff. There's like
there's a
Demon
ton.
Hunter or Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayer's
like,
on
are you
there.
playing?
Like,
Are you
all-
playing catch up on everything now?
Dude, I'm literally like, it's imagine like I was born yesterday. Basically, that's me in the world of anime.
Anime's
like,
great for binging because it's like 20 minutes stuff, and the
But
intro's like
the
4
hard-
minutes long.
the-
So you're
the
like,
one
skip the
hard
intro.
thing
Bam.
It's like I do subs over dubs, so I have to like pay attention. I can't have like normally I'd have it like playing maybe and then be doing some Destiny stuff
Yeah.
or something like that. I have to pay
Yeah, I
full attention.
Yeah, I do some
can't
kind of
do
stuff.
that.
Well, what I often do is I'll like
The
I'll do
voice
my
actors
editing.
are so much fun. I have to say the voice actors are so much better. It like the Japanese voice actors.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Like the hardcore guys like Sundarhato, and you're like, oh shit, and then it goes to English. It's like, I'll kill you. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
But it
I
sounds
thought-
so much
yeah,
more
this guy
hardcore.
sucks, bro.
I get some characters, but at the same time, like my thing is like I can't understand Japanese, and so my biggest argument for that is like Hisoka in Hunter x Hunter is like I can read what he's saying and I can hear his voice, but it's very different than the Hisoka in English, who's like, ah, yes, gone. And he's got this very like flirty sexual voice, and it's like really creepy, and it plays into the character, and it's like,
Yeah, but they're one in a million though, those guys. I feel
true,
like.
that one's rare, but it's like a lot of the Japanese ones, it's like I don't know what you're saying. I can't pick up on sarcasm or changes in tone really, other than anger maybe, or like maybe excitement. And so I watch it, I'm like, I understand that their voice actors are like maybe better to some people, or it's more exciting, but because I don't know truly what you're saying, it's just like I'm just reading the text and it's just boring to me. Like I can't get into the characters as much.
See,
I
I'm
think it
the
depends on the show.
opposite.
Like, it obviously depends on what voice actors they've hired. Like,
Yeah.
some shows have better dubs than others.
For sure.
Yeah,
And, like
there's-
some characters are so bad. Like in Attack on
Yeah.
Titan, Armin is insufferable. Like I almost turned it off multiple times. I couldn't get through it. And I'm glad I didn't. The show's great, but Armin in English is so whiny that it's like, oh my God, I can't. But
Yeah, for me, I end up hearing like the subtitles in the voice of the Japanese actor. So like for me, like I'm a huge Black Clover fan, and you got like Yami, who's one of the most iconic characters, and that the Japanese voice actor for Yami has this deep, like such a fantastic voice for the character he plays. It is literally the perfect fit. So even when I'm reading the subtitles in English, I hear it with his voice. It's so perfect. But then there's like this. We tried this show. Somebody in chat probably knows it off the top of their heads. Everyone was recommending this show to us on Netflix that was like, I don't know. I don't know if it was maybe Chinese, but it's like a crew of Chinese people, post-apocalyptic, who have to go to the moon, to this space station. I don't fully
Never heard
understand.
of it?
Oh,
Everyone said it was so good.
The Invisible Sea or something. The
Yes!
Shallow Sea. Yeah.
Something. C.
I watched it. The
We-
Silent Sea. The Silent
the si-
Sea.
we-
It was Korean, first of all, and it was fantastic.
Korean,
I watched
okay.
the whole thing.
Listen,
Dubs the
dude,
whole time, baby.
we did not. The dubs killed it for me. We got through
What?
the first episode, and I was like, "This is terrible." I'm sure that the dialogue is so much better in the original language, but the way they had it translated in the first episode was like, the guy was like, "You are hot. We should do the sex," and it was just like horrible,
Oh,
just
no.
horrible dialoog. And I was like, "This is trash."
Which dubs are you doing dubs through your TV or through Netflix?
It's on Netflix. Just the
Okay,
dubs
'cause,
on
like,
Netflix.
there's
and
actually a
they were so
difference.
bad. I couldn't do it. I was like, this is probably a good show, but I
liked
can't
it.
do this.
I thought it was a good show. I binged the whole thing in like 2 nights.
did you watch the? Oh, I can't even think of it. The one where there's like a,
Oh, can
a
we
meteor
say-
coming.
Well, can I say quickly? Someone in chat is like, Stalker 2 delayed from April to December 8th. That was the game that walked back the NFT ideas. Dude, it's delayed because Russia's invading Ukraine, where it's been developed. Like, I've never heard a better excuse. Like, everyone's like, I've seen actually a bunch of memes where everyone's like, I'm heading to Ukraine, boys. I gotta get Stalker 2's gotta come out. Like, I'm
That's
fighting
right.
I'm fighting
had
for
that-
Stalker 2.
Did
I was
you
like,
see
oh my god,
the
dude.
address from the like Ukrainian president or whatever, where he's like, "Nobody panic. Just stay calm." And he's like off to the side of the camera. It looks like he's literally about to run out the room
Oh,
and flee the
Yeah,
country.
he probably is, bro. Oh my god, yeah, that's
Because he was on the subreddit for Stalker 2, and he's like,
yeah. I've never felt sorry. Like, of all, like, EA's like, we delayed it because we're gonna fix bugs. Stalker 2's like, bro, we got a mortar shell went through the like server room. I don't know what you want us to do.
Oh, actually, fun fact. Because have you watched Demon Slayer?
I have
Mhm.
not.
Uh-huh.
The English voice actor is the main character from Genshin Impact. It's the same guy.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I
don't watch the English version.
Zach Aguilar. So I was doing it. I was like, hey, I know that guy. And then I went back and watched. He's like, I mean, a lot of the Genshin voice actors are super popular, both the Japanese and the English ones. Like that Konosuba. Have you ever watched Konosuba Happy Days or whatever? It's like Megamum. She's like the mage, and she like uses one fire spell and instantly like kills herself.
Oh,
every
you've
time.
talked about it before.
Remember, she used all her mana. She is like Hu Tao, and there's like all these other famous ones that are different characters, and it's so funny now because when I go watch the English dubs, I'm like, hey, that's D-Luke, and it's like I catch them and I'm like, oh, what the hell? And like Hisoka is Zhong Li, and he does like a ton of different voices, and it just I don't know.
Does it ever take you out of it? when you're like, oh, it's D.
I know that guy.
Because the one
maybe
that
like
took
a little bit here and there.
the one that took me out of it was freaking How to Train Your Dragon. The like guy, the most nasally, whiny guy in the actual world is I can't remember his name.
Is Buttercup or whatever his name.
Yeah, I just like can't. I literally can't. I just imagine this guy in his studio being like, "Oh, this dragon! Like, what do I do about this dragon?" It's like, bro, it's so. I thought you just took me out. I was like, I can't, dude.
For me, the best dubs in the history of dubs are Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, Hovey would love you for that.
The dubs on Yu Yu Hakusho were so good. The voice actors, I loved it.
I think Full Metal Alchemist is pretty up there. Full Metal Alchemist was pretty damn good.
Good dubs. All right.
Okay, so now I want to know, like, which ones have you watched, and like, do you have like a list of the ones you're going?
I'm literally just You're
just starting.
I'm
your
just
journey?
going through my journey of I watched like One Punch Man. I watched the stuff on Netflix, right? And then all the other seasons would be on like Crunchyroll. So I was like, whatever, I'll just get it. And then
so like, have you watched Attack on Titan?
I'm in like season 3 or something.
Okay, cool. Demon Slayer?
No, that literally Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan.
Oh, really? Like that's
other show that I'm not gonna say. I'll say after. I'll say to you guys.
Oh no.
Have you watched Ryan? Have you watched Berserk?
I've heard that's really good.
I watched the first 2 episodes off of your recommendation, but I didn't do after that. Like like the whole like stagecoach scene. I was like, this is freaking brutal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I started. I haven't.
The first couple episodes are actually like in the future, and then it goes back to like how did he even get to this point and the whole thing. But it's such a tragedy. And the guy who wrote Berserk passed away this year or last year, and so it's like, will that ever get finished? Maybe not. It's so sad.
Yeah,
dude,
it was a heavy anime. Remembering the episodes I watched of it, I was like, holy crap, dude. Like Demon Slayer can get kind of heavy, but I felt like Berserk was like right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, it's dark. Like it gets to the point where it's like, yikes. It probably has one of the craziest like last few episodes of the season that it's like,
yeah,
it's like worth watching just to. I want you to watch it, but then call me and I'll fly there so I can just kind of sit across the couch like this and just kind of look at you across and see your reaction. But anyways, I think we're going a little long. We're just ranting about anime, and we should probably go.
Yeah, we're really just like talking about like our favorite animes or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. This was episode number 71 of the RGH podcast. I'm MTash.
I'm Cactus HD.
I'm True Vanguard.
And we will be doing our next episode next Wednesday.
At
9 p.m. Eastern time. 9 p.m. Eastern time.
So don't book any restaurant reservations for that.
Shut up. I got here in time. I was here in time.
There's some turmoil behind the scenes.
We'll elaborate on that later. Thanks for watching. See you next Wednesday.